Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper, and we've got some green bubbles this morning on the market open. Taking a look here at the stock market, guys, right above my head. Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell 2K, all in the green this morning. VIX slowing the hell down. It's at 21. You know, we like to see that below 20 points, but we are getting there. We're getting closer, getting a little bit of movement today. Why? It's going to be because of what we're waiting for right there. That's going to be it right there. The FOMC day is here, and so everyone's all eyes on Jerome Powell today. We're going to be taking a look at that. We're also going to be talking about XRP. SEC officially, again, just dropping the case on Ripple. So XRP getting a little bit of a move to upside, but is it going to be short-lived by the XRP, by the FOMC today? We're going to be taking a look at that and a whole lot more with very special guests on the panel today, guys. Stay tuned. All this and a lot more today on the Piper Academy Morning Market Report. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everyone, guys. We got a little bit of action going on the chart here. We're at the range right now that we're pushing on that orange line. That is the 200-day simple moving average. We're keeping an eye on that. We need to get above that and show some support to have any chance for life in Bitcoin's recovery here. If not, guys, we could be heading right back down to that 300-day. But we're going to break it all down for you guys today. We got some economic data. We just got the 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate that came in. So if you're looking to buy a house, it's more now. It just went up. So, you know, hey, not going down. It's going up. You know, it's not going up, though. Well, I guess it did a little bit, but Ethereum's price, it's this $2,000 mark seems to be a speed bump that became a wall for Ethereum. We're going to have to take a look at that today, too. OC, I'm sure, is going to be in here talking about F Ethereum. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and bring OC up. How you feeling? Is it still F Ethereum? It broke 2,000 today. I'm just saying.
Well, we've been talking about a possible entry, right? As we find a breakout retest, because F Ethereum, I mean, let's not go too fast. Let's not un-F Ethereum just now. We'll wait for a little bit. And now when we find a breakout retest, maybe we call it for un-F Ethereum. But so far, I still hold my ground.
Dude, did you see XRP took the number 3 market cap already? Like past Tether? Yeah, it's rocking right now. It did. What? I think I hear something in the background.
Pumped yesterday?
What pumped? EOS, yeah, it did. It did. Dead project, dead blockchain, back to life. Zombies walking the streets and stuff. Do you hear that? Yeah, I hear something. I definitely hear something. Is that on your end? Maybe. Oh, wait. It might be this guy here. What's up, Tradefly? I heard the plane landing off in the distance. I was like, is that Tradefly landing? What's up, dude? We got you in the house today, too. The full panel, the full morning market report trio is here, guys. Tradefly, what are you thinking about this XRP move today? And also, you know, tag it on at the end about Ethereum. Did Ethereum start moving? And now XRP said we need to get something up, go slice some money over to the SEC so we can take that spot. What's going on, man, with XRP and ETH today? You're muted. You're muted. It says guest has themselves muted. That's what it says on my end. You might want to come back in. All right. We'll get back to Tradefly. We're going to go ahead and do the, and then we'll have him come back in. You know, he coming at the last second, and this happens, but we're going to make it happen for you guys because we like Tradefly in the house with us. So let's jump over to the news. Let's talk about this, and let's get into this data here, guys. We do have to break down where we are in the market cap today. So let's brought to you by Into The Cryptoverse, guys. Link down below. But looking at the total market cap, we're at $2.774 trillion right now. Trend is $3.59 trillion. Undervaluation is only 282.86. So this is dropping down. We're getting back to our median price. Looking at the current risk levels on Bitcoin, it's at 49.2% right now. And then if we go up here and take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's at 60.47% with the stable coins. Take the stable coins out of that Bitcoin dominance and versus only the altcoins, and we're looking at 66.01%. Let's go check out the fear and greed real fast, see where that's sitting at for us. Fear and greed right now, guys, for Bitcoin is sitting at 32. So we're looking at a 32. We're in the classification of fear right now on that front. We'll get into this stuff. I want to talk about some things that I've got here on the bookmarks for X marks the spot today here in a bit, but let's jump over to the crypto bubbles, talk about those. Green on the hourly for a lot of things, green on the daily for a lot of things, but big movers there. EOS, as OC was bringing up, and then also XRP. Let's take a look at Bitcoin right now, sitting at 84,375. It is up 3.7% on the daily. Ethereum is up 7.7%, holding above $2,000 for now. It is at $2,021. XRP, though, has moved up to the number 3 spot, wiping out Tether, up 15% on the SEC news. Guys, it's at $2.57. Tether moving down to that one spot, taking number 4, and then BNB down 2% on the daily. Solana's up 7.8% at 131.97. And let's see what else. Cardano is up 8.8% today, getting a good move on that, just under 75 cents. Dogecoin up 5.9. Tron's up 2.9%. Chainlink moving up 2 spots to number 11 here. We can see what happened with that. It's up 6.4%, getting a move to $14.50. Stellar Lumen's up 11.8% right now. It is up 2 spots at number 12. Toncoin dropping down that 1 spot, 1.3% to the upside. Leo token dropping down 3 spots to the number 14 in the top 20, up 0.1. Hedera up 5.6%. Avalanche up 6.1. So Pi Network moving down out of the top 20. That's what I want to see. Get out of here, Pi Network. SWI is up 7.6%, moving up to number 18, and then rounding out the bottom 2, we got Shiba Inu and Litecoin back in the top 20 with a 4.6% move at $91.90. Let's go take a look at the Dow Jones and the S&P. Let's give it a refresh. There we go. We got Dow Jones. Come back in for me. Let's go. There we go. Dow Jones is up 0.51% right now. It's at 41,791 points right now. S&P is sitting at 0.72% to the upside, 0.71 now. And then we're looking at the NASDAQ right now. It is up 1.08%. So Russell 2K small caps up about 0.5%, and the VIX slowing down. We're down to 20 now, guys. This is a good sign for the markets. Let's go take a look at the bonds. 10-year Treasury bond is coming up. Not good. This makes me think that something's going to be coming out to push this down some more, because as I've said before, in order to refinance that $9.2 trillion in debt that the U.S. has, they really need this to go down. And right now, they're not going to refinance at that level. So let's go take a look at gold. Gold is sitting at $3,042, guys, in the green today. Silver having a little bit of a pullback, still over that $31 range that I've been watching. 34.38 is where it's at right now. Platinum, palladium down, copper up. And then lastly, I want to take a look at oil. We above 60. Yeah, we're 66.86 still, even though it's pulling back, looking pretty decent there. Economic calendar today, guys. Let's talk about this. We had the 30-year mortgage rate come in this morning. Was previously at 6.67. Came in a little bit higher now. It's moved up to 6.72. So if you're looking to buy at home, your 30-year fixed rate is probably going to be about 6.72. Shout out to the Otter gang joining the house. The OGs are here. I love when all the otters flow into the room here, just swarming the academy. Welcome, everybody. So, yeah, the big one today, guys, Fed rate decision. This is going to be at 12 p.m. my time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be that Fed rate decision. Right now expected to be neutral, no change, no rate cut, no rate hike, just another pause. Quantitative tightening continuing right now. FOMC economic projections also coming in at the same time. And then the one to watch, guys, this Fed press conference is going to be a half an hour after that. So that's going to be at about 2:30. Okay. Eastern Standard Time, 12:30 my time, and that is going to be Jerome Powell speaking. His dovishness, his hawkishness, the words that he says, going to be watched very closely today. As you can see, we are looking at a 99% chance of no change today. And as I said, the stock market will react to the Fed meeting by scanning for views of the economy and the future rate path. They're going to be listening to every single word he says, so expect a lot of crazy volatility on this today. On the back of Jerome Powell and the words of the Fed. Oh, Lord. Let's jump back over to the trio cam. I think that we have Trade Fly with some volume now. It says that he's still got himself muted. I'm not sure what's going on, bro. Yeah, I'm not sure. But OC, while he tries to figure that out, I don't know why he's still muted on here. Yeah, it says you muted the guest, and then I click this, and it says the guest has themselves muted. So not sure what it is, brother, but we'll go ahead and bring OC up while you try to figure that out. OC, what do you think, man? What is Jerome Powell going to be hawkish or dovish today?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea. I mean, the results that we are expecting are kind of like a neutral, right? At least not too much of a big. I believe that he was going to be a little bit dovish at this point, and that's because of the trend that we've been seeing, right? Kind of like just going neutral, but also not giving too much hope. We are running into a possible recession in here in the economy, and we all can see it, right? So trying to hide it at this point could be strategy, but I believe that he needs to be kind of like a giving those hints. Like, I mean, this guy is an expert of saying, yeah, we're doing great, but at the same time, it's not that great, right? So I don't know what to expect exactly out of him, but I absolutely expect some cryptic emotions coming out of his face. Something, by the way, that Alex O Crypto mentioned a couple of minutes ago is like every single time that he did what he did, he sneezed, or I don't remember what he did. The market moved, right?
Yeah, he's not feeling well today, so that's why the markets are pumping. They're like, oh, you want to trade us? Yeah, go sit with your Kleenex over there in the corner, sir. Yeah, shout out to Alex, though, man. He's not feeling well today, and he also hurt his back playing golf recently. So, every time he coughs and sneezes, that has to be horrible on the back. But you know what else is horrible? Recession. And let's go take a look at this article that I have here. It's not an article, it's actually a video. Let's go check out this video. OC, your background's not right. But yeah, BlackRock's Robbie Mitchnick says a recession could be the next big catalyst for Bitcoin. Let's go hear what they had to say.
Tariffs. Here. It's not clear that tariffs are any fundamental bad for Bitcoin. Economic fears. I mean, I don't know if we have a recession or not, but a recession would be a big catalyst for Bitcoin. And certainly the way the market seems to be commenting on it doesn't reflect that.
Well, unless if people have less money, they have less money to buy Bitcoin, right? Or if there's the wealth effect of people having less money in the market, stocks, they have less money to buy Bitcoin.
Sure, and that's part of it on a short-term basis. But ultimately, why I make that comment is Bitcoin is long liquidity in the system, right? It's catalyzed by more fiscal spending and debt and deficit accumulation. That happens in a recession. It's catalyzed by lower interest rates and monetary stimulus. That tends to happen in a recession. And it's catalyzed to some extent over just fears of general social disorder, right? And that too, unfortunately, is something that can come up in a recession. So the market has almost, it seems, gotten this in some ways, not particularly well calibrated, but that's where the opportunity comes in for education in a market and an asset class that's still very nascent.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. That's the thing right there that I've been keeping an eye on is this whole recession period, right? And so if we're looking at this possible recession coming, this guy, according to BlackRock's Robbie Mitchnick, he's saying that that could be a catalyst to move Bitcoin. So I'd love to hear thoughts now. Trade Fly, I believe you got audio now. I saw that your warning is gone here on my end. Your thoughts? Does Bitcoin pump on a recession? What's your thoughts on that, man?
No, I don't believe so.
Very simple. Well put. Well put.
2022.
No wiggle room.
Look at 2022 when the rest of the market was going down, everything was falling in unison. All right, and everybody was like, "Well, what is this? Inflation's going up, Bitcoin's going down." I thought it was a hedge against inflation. and here we are, looking at a recession again, and understand too, we were in a recession, whether they said we were or we were not. Understand that we were. All right, GDP was going down. It was going down consecutive quarters. By definition, technically, that was a recession. What they did is change the definition of what a recession was. They also added to government spending, which increased artificially the GDP, which is half the reason we're in the position that we're in right now. And we're kind of digging out of that hole, trimming the fat. Elon's pissing everyone off. And that has a lot to do with kind of what we did to ourselves. And it really stemmed from the pandemic, to be honest with you. That was kind of the catalyst which drove everything kind of going in a negative direction. And you did see what happened. We went to $17,000 Bitcoin. The whole market just got pummeled. And so, yeah, I think that it would be a buying opportunity, not, a hedge against a recession or negative data personally. It's on my own opinion. But
yeah, I think the only piece that really never happened, which is the most painful piece of a recession, inflation is not the painful piece of a recession, right? Well, it's not really even. You can have inflation, you can not have inflation and have a recession, right? But I think that a lot of people felt the pain on that, but I don't think that anyone actually felt the pain of a recession beyond things being expensive. Remember, inflation does not equate recession. I mean, you can have recession without inflation, and you can have inflation without a recession. So I think the big pain factor is the loss of jobs, the massive unemployment numbers that hit on a recession. And we never got that because the government jobs were keeping the numbers afloat. Like, oh, I lost my job in the private sector, but I found a government job. Oh, I lost my job at this bank, but I found a job in this government job at the Treasury, IRS, whatever it may be, right? So a lot of the job numbers were kept afloat by the government. And now that stuff's washing out, I do think that we could have this returning effect of recession, especially with Q1 GDP is going to be negative now. That is the start off to indicators, red flags of a coming recession. But I think that once people, I keep saying, anyone who thinks that we've had a recession so far, when we have the recession with that final piece, that final block of employment starting to go away and suck out of the economy, I think that people are going to feel real pain. And I'm not looking forward to that at all for anyone. I've told my son, look, you've got a little bit of seniority at your job. I would not recommend you looking for a new job right now because you don't want to be at the bottom of a totem pole when they start to go, you know what, we need to cut job numbers. Who's our most recent hires? You're out. So, I think that we do still have that recessionary fear. I think that it's going to be more painful if it does come back around for a second swing at the plate. And the job numbers are going to definitely put some pain on everyone. And it goes back to what she was saying, that people don't have money to buy because everyone's losing. Like, people do not want to buy a risk asset when they're worried about how long can I make this money last that I have, right? So it will be one of those factors that we have to take a look at and take into account. So let's
get into the bit. Those are the times.
Those are the times. Absolutely.
Like
that's what I'm prepared for.
Exactly. And that's smart, right? You've allocated a bigger portion of your portfolio into cash and dry powder, which you always call it. And if you look back 2008, 2009, it was bad times for the stock market. It was bad times for the housing market. Just go back and look at it in 08, 09, and then tell me, where is the market since then? And you will see like it's exponentially higher. So, take advantage of those opportunities. Sometimes, just getting in when the market is crap and everyone is upset and everyone thinks it's over, everyone's lost a lot of money. Those are the times to be like, you know what, let me get a little bit more frisky with it. And the money that I have sitting aside, I can put in, and it may go down a little bit. There's no doubt about that. But your odds, your percentage is now skewed a little bit more in your favor.
Yeah, for sure. It is. Absolutely. Crypto Pollo nailed it. He said a lot of rich people are selling the houses right now, and they're selling them at a lot less than what they thought they would get because it is the housing market is dropping quite a bit right now. Yeah. It's pulling back, definitely. It's a family affair today in the Piper Academy, evidently. Shout out to CJ Taylor, my brother, and Rayanne Shipley, my niece, both in the chat. So shout out to you guys. All right, Trade Fly, let's talk about the Bitcoin chart, and let's go take a look at that. And I'm gonna let you run with it today. First, I see you got the heat map up. Do you want to talk about Bitcoin real fast, and then we'll talk about those heat map levels? Because I do think that we get a little bit of a rally up before we get another pullback, and today is definitely showing that. We've talked about it all week. What do you got for us, man?
Yeah, so simply put, looking at the liquidation heat map, we're tapping it right now. All right, so we actually did come up and get some of the liquidity that was sitting here. If you looked at this earlier today, that spot was a little bit bigger, a little bit hotter, and we're hitting it right now. So again, what always want to look for is you start seeing a trend in price, right? And then you just look for where the liquidity is at. And even when you're approaching an area of resistance, which is actually a little bit higher, so it's almost comical that liquidity built up in this area, because this is really your area of resistance, right? If you were going to put a stop and you were going to put a leverage position in, wouldn't you want it to be at least above this area of resistance at a minimum? So, that is why I talk about this all the time. Do not be this liquidity sitting here. That is not smart money. That is dum-dums. Okay. Don't be this. So at least this has a fighting chance being up by resistance or a little bit above where resistance is. This is people that are a little bit smarter right here. And, if you see price break this area, then, you could see this shift. But again, just be very, very careful. Always look at the liquidity. And, one of my big things that I've said now is, like, if you don't know where the liquidity is, then you're the liquidity. All right. So that's I'm gonna be rolling with that quite a bit here. From here on out, to the downside, right? There are some fundamental reasons to see some downside movement, but if you do, look at all the liquidity that's building up here now, right? People are getting comfy. You get a couple hits of support in this area, around 81.3 or so, and then look at all this liquidity that just jumps into the market, right? So somebody is anticipating some upward movements here. So we'll see. But let's go to the chart and kind of like look at that a little bit. So what do we got? High 84. Yeah, go ahead.
Real fast before you jump onto that chart, pull that chart up. You still got the heat map there, but I do want to show right now on centralized exchanges, Binance, Bybit, and OKX, we're looking at 66.51% of all of the trades are longs right now. So we are seeing this play out, but I definitely think this is a liquidity grab to grab these longs, make this money, and then weigh them. The shorts, the bears are going to come in and flip this over. But right now we do have more longs than shorts. What are you seeing on the chart there, bro?
Yeah, man. So that's part of it, right? So I've been tracking this area right here. That is actually where there is a higher area of liquidity, sitting at about 85,450 or so, just above that. So keep an eye on that area, right? Just do not be surprised if you see price action work its way up, wick up into that area, grab that liquidity, and then move back down. So you can see there's a pretty prominent trend line, especially if you go to the lower time frames. You'll see where this is acting as support and as resistance at time, but don't be surprised to see it kind of work its way up, grab that liquidity, ultimately for a reversal back down to grab the liquidity that's now sitting back here in this region. All right, so these people are getting a little bit crazy with it, is what it is. But then there is another bit of liquidity now that's building up right around 396. So there's kind of their areas to be fearful of in terms of like price action. So when I say that, I wouldn't mess around with price action in that area in terms of like, okay, if price works its way up to 85, 200, 85, 400 in that area, that's not where I would take a long. And that's kind of what I'm getting at with this when I'm saying, hey, watch out for this liquidity. It's not so much as a prediction measure, even though price does have a tendency to follow liquidity. It's more of okay, wait for this to happen. And when you let it happen, right, you let these people get cleared out, then they're kind of beaten into submission. The market maker is then happy, right? There's not, the liquidity will not be the driving factor for price action. Then it's an opportunity to look at this chart and say, okay, let me take this in and let me say, what are the technicals telling me at this point? Well, the technicals are telling me at this point that there is clearly resistance in this area. Okay, so you're likely to see some price action on top of a liquidity grab. You could see something that looks like a wick that comes up, a candle close underneath of this. And what would that mean to us? That would mean that there's the likelihood of a little bit, of a reversal. Okay, so it could have a little bit of pullback, but you do see right now, you're kind of setting a series of higher lows, which is good. It's good. And then you might actually see a break here and reestablish over this range. Those are all in play, but just understand, where's liquidity, what's happening in the news, right? The FOMC, meeting today, that's big, and right, that's going to create a little bit of volatility for you. So be wary of that. But at the same time, that could really drive price in one way or another, which is very interesting when it's coming up to a key level. So again, keep your eyes on the news, tune in to whoever your favorite content creator is. That's up to you. If price action does come back down though to the 0.5, and this is on a macro, I'll say loosely on a macro, it's from the previous range low to the previous range, or to the all-time high, really. So that's where this 0.5 comes from. That's where the 0.382 comes from, just so you understand. And when I say previous low, I'm talking about right here. Okay, so low to high, that's where I derived these fib retracement levels. But this has been a nice little zone for Bitcoin right here at about, we'll say 81.6 to about 80,200. I think that's a key level for it to hold. If we don't hold that level, then it's going to be a very quick fall right back down to the median of this range, as well as this level at about 76,400. And there's not a lot in this area. There's really not. Once price action moves up. So I'd say we're at a pretty key level for Bitcoin to kind of hold up. Yep. And really, yeah, if it breaks here, this is now a change. All right. So if we break out of this level right here, then we can start talking about more upside movement. But I think today is key. Today is key in terms of what comes from this news, what comes from the meeting, and that's really going to push the market in a direction. So for me, I'm taking it easy today, just for clarity. And I'm going to wait to see if we break this level or if we break this level. So when I say that's 85.5 to the upside, and then about 82-ish, I'll be looking for that area to break to the downside. So again, in the middle here, yep. Chop, be careful.
Some key levels there that I'm watching, and big shout out real fast to Crypto Pollo dropping 5 Piper Academy memberships, and some new members picking those up. So shout out to Crypto Pollo, man. Much appreciation there, bro. Yeah, one thing I'm watching at that level, you said 85.5. Key level, man, dude. It's like, look, we got the 200-day that we're trying to fight right now. I know that it looks like it doesn't extend over because I'm on daily moving averages with the 4-hour chart, but we're right now at that 200-day. But look, 85.5, that is an overlap of our quantum reactor and our dynamic reactor. So when you have this little area here converging in of the 200-day, which has been resistance, and then a major key resistance level of our quantum reactor and dynamic reactor, man, this is going to be a key, absolute key area to take. And if we don't get that key, that key terrain, we're going to lose this AO, in my opinion. So area of operations, key level right there. It's going to be that 85.5. Absolutely spot on there, bro. Shout out to Alex O Crypto, bro. Glad to have you here. Ada Ace is in the house. Crypto Archie is in the house. Guys, we got the gang in here, man. Crypto Archie actually just hit me up on Discord and said, hey, if you want to do some collab, let me know. So might have Crypto Archie on here real soon. But need to get Crypto Archie over there to your channel also, Tradefly. If you guys are not following Tradefly, go check him out. Alexandra G, I know she's getting ready to drop that link in the chat. So shout out to our mod queen. And then OC, we're going to pass it over to you to do the charts. Man, you were hooking it last night on OC Trades Live. So do show content that we have sitting right in between what used to be Trade Academy and your Crypto Nightcap. We got OC live every evening now, guys, Monday through Friday. So shout out to OC. But OC, what are you seeing? What's your key levels, or what can you add to this that hasn't already been said? 85.5 being a key resistance level. What do you got for us, bro?
So basically just looking at Bitcoin here. Oh, my bad. Bitcoin here is just a naked charts at this point. By the way, do not miss today's class. We're going to be taking a look at how we start building our setup with just looking at the charts, nothing to clutter the view, right? But right on where you guys both are looking at a big area of resistance right here at 85,945, somewhere around those areas. That's because we have the volume coming down here. That is a dynamic reactor. Let me go to my usual setup here, and let me zoom in because, yeah, I know it's a little bit of a spaghetti, right? I mean, what would this show be without my mess? a cleaner show, right? Yeah, I know. I just gotta say it. So something interesting is that we are between a hard place and a rock, or a rock and a hard place, because we have two liquidity zones in here. As you can see, we're just being bound it all around. So we basically bounce from here, bounce from here, bounce from here, bounce from here. And then what else, or how can we start predicting what's going to happen? Something that is going on with TradingView, I don't know why, is limiting the RAM, right? So you have runtime error. If you ever had that, just click the settings here, change something, doesn't matter what it is, change it back, click OK, and that will force a new reconnection and new RAM allocation. That'll give us a better, a new reading, there we go, on our oscillator. Something that is interesting is right down here on the oscillator, and it is that we are turning green, right? And we're trying to push above the zero line. If we are able to push above the zero line, remember, I was expecting this a little bit farther to my right, so it played out a little bit faster here. So if we are breaking through and above this area, and look at that, we're also pushing at the end of the range, right? This big range in here, we have a real chance to start breaking our trend line here. This is one of our manual trend lines that we drew from this top, going through this week, and now acting as a resistance. Also, we have an automated trend line here acting as a resistance. So we have a lot against us. Sorry. But if we are able to break above, I think we could be seeing breakout, retest, rejection of the dynamic reactor, finding support, and then off we go. So I just want to bring up a little bit on this hopium side, but so far we are keep following what we talked about last time, and let me show it to you here. It is this one right here, where we are basically just mimicking 2021 bear or secondary drop here, or intermediary drop, before taking the next high. We're still within the range that we were talking about, and also we are still below this macro trend line that we've been keeping an eye on. So I would say that nothing interesting until we start taking the 89,600 area and then holding above it. If we do that, I think we're gonna be back on the game, baby, and we are gonna be, as we talked about yesterday, in for a little bit of a range for a couple of months. But other than that, well, we need to wait and see how market politics start moving and what numbers are being punched into the economic factor. Because something that Tredfine mentioned when he was asked, and he was like, "No, this is not gonna be it
No.
this time," which I do agree. Yeah,
very direct.
No. Exactly. I love that, brother. I love that, because I mean, Bitcoin, it's moving with the market, right? Finally, and I would say finally, because that's what we want. I mean, we want to see Bitcoin playing out with the big guys, right? So if the economy is just bad, we also want Bitcoin to reflect economy, but also come back on its feet, or recuperate value faster than fiat, faster than any other tools that we have out there. And that's how it's built for, right? So I would say that I'm pretty excited to see it once again on a possible market hiccup, let's just call it like that. And let's see once again how we played out. Yeah, because I mean, if we just zoom out weekly, if you can just push my charts really quick. I mean, come on, guys, right? This just been killing it. So I just want to show that, I mean, even if we have just that adversity, I think Bitcoin could keep killing it as we expected.
Absolutely. And we are seeing some retail pumping back in, and it's not just in Bitcoin right now. I want to talk about two quick touches on stock side, TradFi, and what I'm seeing on an article for Bitcoin. And then I want to get into Ethereum and XRP, because XRP had some big news today. And then Ethereum, obviously breaking 2,000, kind of a big deal for it right now. But, Standard Chartered just dropped their rating for Ethereum for the end of year price action. So I want to talk about those two things, but let's jump over here to the Kabisi letter first, talking about retail investors are pouring money into the stock at a rapid pace right now. Retail net inflows into the NASDAQ 100 index stocks are as a percentage of market has reached 0.1%, it's the highest in at least a year. Retail flows have doubled in just a few weeks. And you can see here, this is the retail flow as a percentage of the aggregated market cap. So buy minus the sells, and it is just absolutely pumping up. This is the highest it's been in over a year, guys. So we're seeing that there. And then we jump over to this article that Samuel Edine did, and he says Bitcoin wells are back. Could this be the catalyst for the next rally? We've talked about a blow off top before we see more downside, but on top of the recessionary fears, and because, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news, as I was showing you guys here a second ago on the X marks the spot. Where'd it go? There it is. We have more buys than shorts right now still. So I still don't think that we're ready for that massive just jump out the window bear move to the downside. I do think it's coming still. I haven't changed my stance on that. We've got recessionary fears galore, but I do think that we get one good rally back up. I don't think it breaks a new all-time high, but I think that it's going to be an opportunity for some people to get their money out of the market. So I just wanted to talk about those two things. Catalyst for wells coming back in, and then also on top of that, retail returning back to the stock market, especially on the tech sector. But looking at this, Ethereum to $4,000, Standard Chartered, they lowered their expectations for ETH this year. Like ETH, like the broader crypto market, has experienced a sharp drop in price in recent weeks from a high of 3.3K. At the start of 2025, Ether is now trading about $2,000. We just showed you this 1,800, 1,900 was yesterday, reflecting a sharp drop to the world's second biggest crypto market cap. They had originally called it at a $10,000 end of year price action, right? But now they have dropped that from 10K to 4K, blaming layer 2 networks like Base, which they say has drained $50 billion from Ethereum's market value. And then, you know, to top it off, we've been talking about XRP. Could it close the gap on that market cap here? Let's give it a refresh just to see what it's currently at. But the market cap right now on Ethereum to XRP is only about $100 billion. Guys, that's not a huge amount, and it seems to be catching up right now. So taking a look at this article, XRP versus Ethereum, bold predictions claims. Dying Ethereum's reign is ending. And so a cryptocurrency expert thinks that XRP might overtake Ethereum in the market value in the next 3 months, which could threaten Ethereum's position as the second largest cryptocurrency. Shout out to Wick. I know he likes hearing this. This claim has triggered arguments in the cryptoverse, with some people doubting if Ethereum can stay in its number 2 spot. Let's jump back over here. TradeFly. Your thoughts? Is XRP poised to make this move and snatch number 2 spot from Ethereum? Quick answer. Let's see it.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. OC, I know your answer to this because you are the ETH king. Your thoughts? Does XRP take the number 2 spot in the market cap?
Oh, man. Let me say it. I'm so sorry. Fuck Ethereum, but I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Dude, my brain is just exploding, TradeFly. I mean, it's just so much market cap. It's just so much market cap. Ethereum is not easy to take down. I mean, it has its own technology. It's also staking XRP. Really? I don't know. If it happens, I'll be really, really surprised. But let me hear you out. What do you think is going to be taking it? I just don't see it, but maybe I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
And while you do that, while you're saying that, in the chat, if you guys think that XRP takes Ethereum in the next 90 days, as per that article, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it overtakes Ethereum by the end of the year, put a 2 in the chat. And if you don't think it's possible, put a 3. So 1 in the next 3 months, 2 this year, 3 no way. Let me know in the chat. TradeFly, what's your reasoning? Let's hear it, bro.
So sorry, I missed the 90-day part. I thought you just said overtake Ethereum. Over time, yes, I believe XRP has the ability to take over Ethereum. And I think they're just losing market share. They're losing market share, and you can see that with the correlation in price. I've talked about where it should be relative to Bitcoin price right now. It's not there. It's nowhere close. And you can see that more transactions and people are just using other options more often, right? They're faster, they're cheaper, and they work the way you expect. And all you have to do is interact with some of these other projects to see that. Like when you use it for a transaction, you're like, oh, well, that's kind of how I expect a credit card to work. And that's like my litmus test, right? Like that is where I say, okay, this is something that I will use. And, understand that Ethereum has its place in the market. It does. I think it'll be around, and I'm not saying it's not going to stay around. It has its place. It has its thing. But the thing that gets me is that the government and some of the bigger institutional investment is going to XRP right now. What got listed, right? When they're talking about like using it for transactions, like actual financial transactions, that was XRP, not Ethereum. Ethereum was nowhere on that list at all. Now I know Trump's been backing it, and the little Trumpers been backing it, saying, "Hey, buy Ethereum."
Little Trumper.
I mean, I don't know. I am not on the ETH train either. Honestly, it's clunky. It costs too much, and for me, for those reasons, I'm out.
For those reasons, I'm out. I like it. So I just want to remind people. I just got to say this. 2021, Ethereum set at $1,900 forever, and everyone said, this is an Ethereum killer. This is an Ethereum killer. This is an Ethereum killer. Now, keep in mind, I understand this is back when they were proof of stake and not proof of work and not proof of stake. I get it. But every time that Ethereum has been put on the table as dying project and it's about to go down, it's had this amazing breakout. So now I'm not saying it's going to do that. I don't know if it will or not. There's a lot of competition in the space today, but I will point that out that I would never ever put all of my chips to count Ethereum out of the game at all. So XRP, as someone said up there earlier, XRP and ETH are both garbage. I can't disagree with that. The longer I've been in crypto, the more I've become a Bitcoin maxi. I'm just going to put that out there. I think Bitcoin is the absolute safest play in the crypto space when it comes to how are we going to be moving forward. So let's go ahead and go take a look at XRP and Ethereum. Tradefly, you want to take XRP and talk about what this SEC thing today? Because I'll show that first, and then we'll show the chart and get into that.
Sure.
Where are you? Where are you? There it is. There it is, right there. Got it. Brad Garlinghouse posted this about 1 hour ago, and he said, this is it. The moment we've been waiting for. The SEC will drop its appeal, a resounding victory for Ripple, for crypto. Every way you look at it, the future is bright. Let's build. Tradefly, what are you seeing on the chart for XRP, and how are you feeling about the TA on it right now? Is this thing getting ready to dump? I'll tell you right now, I opened a short at, let me see here. I opened my short on XRP. I opened it at $2.57. $2.57 short. So what are you seeing right now, man?
I mean, yeah, you could be okay with that just based on knowing what might happen in the market today. I will say overall, that I've been pretty bullish on XRP I posted in the Discord, I don't know, it was about a week ago, maybe a little less than that. And that was really right about in this area down here. So that this chart looks better than most other charts in comparison. And that's kind of what I've talked about. Like you had the dynamic reactor working its way up, that's been support, as it's been kind of riding up. And then you had a very clear area of horizontal resistance, and you had the 0.382 on a macro. So basically from bottom to high, that's where I got that fib. I don't leave those up anymore just because it clogs up the page too much. But 0.382 is your technical area to see continuation for upside movement, right? So 0.5 is great, 0.618, all good psychological areas, but the 0.382 is like that one you want to see. So when people are looking at these pennants and bull flags and things of that nature, pulling back to the 0.382 makes a lot of sense. And you had confluence, right? So again, you had multiple hits of this area. I was very confident in this 196 area, really the $2 psychological area as well. So all of that lining up in one area, as well as you had this descending trend line here. There was just too much here. And then when you look at the chart, zoomed out in comparison to other altcoins, what happened with most other coins, especially Bitcoin and, just most others, is they formed a range down here. that was what I noticed with the trend of all of the other coins is almost all of them are here. XRP is still in its range and has been in its range since it made its move up in December. All right, so we're talking about months of maintaining this range. People knew something we didn't know because when the market fell, XRP did not. So understand that insiders, I think, were holding this up, knowing that this case was going to get dropped. And here you go. So they hold it up. They're either in down here or they began to accumulate again here. So they're already in, right? Understand that. And then here comes retail, slow to the game. Right? That's our thing, right? We buy right up here once the news drops, and then you get that wick up. So this is the one thing I always like challenge people to understand too. Like when you're thinking about, some big money getting into the game, right? They're already 15%, 16% in profit before we ever got in. So understand that. So, you can short if you want, man, but this is a bullish looking chart in comparison. So understand that like it has a lot of potential for upside based on it maintaining its value. So, if the market falls down, I don't see it really falling much further than 2. It's a great trade for you, right? That's a great trade if you make it back down here, which is in play because you're about to hit resistance with the 200 as well as the value area high of the range. I wouldn't be against your trade. I don't know where you're looking to take it down to. Maybe the point of control.
It's just a quick scalp.
Down.
Just a quick scalp. Okay. Back down to its bottom range there.
I'm not Piper, I gotta be real with you, man. Yeah, you could be okay, dude. I wouldn't short something that's like it's got bullish momentum. But that's just me. That's my own personal thing. So
I put my stop loss 3 cents above it at 260. So yeah, I'm not overly worried about it, man.
Okay. I think you might be all right. The reason I think you're going to be all right is only because we know Bitcoin's running up against a little bit of resistance. We're about to get some FOMC news, which is going to cause volatility in the market. So I think you're safe today. I would say if it was any other day and you were looking to make that trade, I'd probably argue with you and say probably not the smart thing to do, to be honest, because it just has too much bullish momentum right now. So again, you're hitting resistance though right now. So
I think OC has something to say. Look at his camera. All right. OC, what you got, man?
Oh God.
Nothing. I just was looking at Ethereum because I know it's coming. For some reason, Ethereum lands on my.
What you got for us, man? On Ethereum,
I knew it.
And then we had a request for we had a request for link and render. So let's try to get those two in before the top of the hour. What you got for us on ETH?
Absolutely, I can do this and link if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure, go for it. And then I'll wrap out with render.
Absolutely. So since we're going to be taking a look at Ethereum, let's get it with the Ethereum phase. All right. So the first thing that we need to take a look at here, it is our trend lines, right? And remember that I've Ethereum, why? Look, come on, guys, look at this, right? Yeah, all right, this one, but then what happened the next one? Flop, right? And then sweep with the lows and flop, right? And then, all right, pump and dump and flop. I mean, come on. So, well, in order to unF Ethereum, remember that I'm looking to take this area right here at 2,335. Why? Because at that point, we're going to be absolutely no questions asked above the dynamic reactor. Remember, previous resistance becomes new support. And look at the resistance the dynamic reactor has been representing for Ethereum. Breakout retest, off we go. Resistance, right? Yeah, fake out, but resistance. So on. You get the point, right? I mean, it's just not being able to break it. As when we break it, look at the amount of support that it represents for Ethereum. So far, that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? The breakout. So at this point, we already have our first speculation zone, which was this one, breaking through the trend line, going for a retest, and off we go. We did broke out the trend line, but not with the strength that I was expecting, all right? We basically just shyly, or very shy, or very quietly broke it, bounced on the trend line, and now we're just beginning to break this area. Remember, at this point, we have a doji candle. We need to be careful with this doji candle because it can mean reversal back to this area right down here. But if not, if we do another big candle, I think this will be basically telling us that we have a confirmed breakout on this trend line right here, this trend line right there. What is the next big resistance? Well, you guessed it, dynamic reactor. So I will be expecting a breakout, retest once again, and finally finally, we're going to be looking for an entry right here. Our stop at this previous area. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle room. And guess what? We already have an alerting here, right? Why do we have this alert? Because we took this entry. What are we expecting again? Taking the same area, but in this case, it's going to be alerting us where to enter just a little bit slightly above. So that's going to be my call for Ethereum. Let's go and hunt Link very quick here on the 4-hour. Link, it's been a almost never-ending range. In fact, we called this, remember what we talked about, these areas coming down, little range, V-shaped recovery. Since here, we've been predicting the range, right? Not predicting, speculating on the range. Why? Because this is almost a perfect Wyckoff accumulation scheme, right? So we had the range. There we go. We defined the range, top, bottom, top, bottom. At this point, it seems like we're trying to break it. We are above the zero line. We have the flip of the ribbon. Let me clear this up so we have a clean perspective. And off we go. I am expecting one more breakout retest. This could be your chance to then long it, or maybe just wait. There we go, for a almost breakout retest, and then coming back down here. Yeah, I will be thinking that this is going to be it, because look at the amount of resistance that we have at the top. All right, we're almost breaking that range. What range, you may ask? Well, the range that we've been on it for a long time. In this case, it is a wedge. So be careful with because this kind of wedges usually break to the downside. Still, we have the means to break up, because we seems to be having that momentum to start piercing through the dynamic reactor. If we lose dynamic reactor, wait for the retracement at this area right here. Why? Because we have some support, and then your entry right at this point. So that's what I got, guys. Let me throw it back to you.
Awesome. Let me take a look at render here. I'm doing some peeky peeks here on some fixed range volume profile. But first, let's take a look at the 4-hour and see what we're seeing on here, guys. We do have this level here that we are rejecting off of right now from a previous fib. You guys can see that's also lining up with the quantum reactor and the dynamic reactor here. We did get above the quantum reactor. This is one of Chart Prime's proprietary moving averages, algorithm galore in it. But right now, the dynamic reactor is coming in right behind us. You can see rejection there on that previously when we touched it. So I am watching for that. So let's take a look at the oscillator, see what the oscillator is telling us right now. We do look like we're getting another curve down here on money flow. It looks like the volume is starting to come down, and we are getting pretty high on the 4-hour here for the oscillator ribbon. So let's go to the higher time frame, and let's just go take a look and see what we're seeing here. One thing that I'm watching, these two yellow lines that you see right here, these are going to be coming off of these peaks on the volume, fixed range volume profile, which is measuring all the way back to December 2022, okay? But if we take a fib and we pull a fib from this last pullback here, I just want to show you guys what this looks like. That is going to be that we've had a lot of play in the platinum pocket and the golden pockets here. If we could look at this and we go, okay, look, we had a golden pocket. It was resistance, resistance. Oh, it was resistance, resistance, right? We got a nice little move up there to another peak at the 236, and then we broke down rejection, rejection, rejection here on the golden pocket, another OC retest right there on that 0.66, and then the 786 became our resistance zone. Now we are trying to fight for the 887, the bottom side of our platinum pocket. Guys, if we reject off of this, I do believe we're going to be coming down to the point of control, and that right now is coming in at about $1.73. That is going to be the main volume node back here for this entire history piece. So, excuse me. When you look at all of the price action that occurred up here, and that the point of control, the point of the greatest volume is all the way down here, guys, being that we've lost our value area high long ago, we're losing key levels, and we're trying to fight right now with the last key level we really have. I do think that if we are going to be heading down to the point of control there. Again, that's a $1.70 to $1.73 range. So that's what I'm seeing there on render. Trade Fly's on the phone. He's talking and walking. I'll let you finish your phone call there, man. I was going to have you.
It's my little girl just called me, and I didn't talk to her yesterday, so gotta say hi, gotta tell her I love her.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's great. Let's go ahead and Trade Fly is going to have you look at Sol. Take us for a ride on the Sol train before we head it out of here. but I'll let you talk to your daughter because that's more important. So, OC, what else? Are you good, Trade Play? All right, take us for a ride on the Soul Train, bro.
I'm good.
Let's go.
I'm good, man.
Take us.
All right.
Let's go.
I had Cardano up. But so I'll take a quick.
You can do Cardano and then Solid. You can do whatever you want. You're the guest today. You got 5 minutes.
Cool. Yeah. So there was an area I was looking at. I did post this in both trade groups for Outer Gang, as well as the Piper Academy. So I was looking at this zone, and the reason I was looking at the zone was really I just saw some confluence, and what I saw is that the value area high of a previous range was lining up, as well as the value area low of the current range. So it's kind of like that tandem, line really that was lining up, and I was like, man, like this could be a spot. As well as you did have a horizontal area of resistance there. So that was kind of key for me. I was looking at that. It did fall down a little bit with the dump yesterday, but it did reestablish a range. Once it reestablished a range, you saw the OC retest. So the reason I did want to look at a little bit of a dumpsy do, man. I saw you say that yesterday. But one of the things that was key to this, right, was, okay, we fell down below it. And it was acting as resistance a little bit, but there was not a real clear rejection where that you saw that downside momentum. What you did see is it reestablished the range, and then it did the OC retest. All right, so here we go. We came up, we came down, retest, and then boom. All right, so really, I mean, it was really quite nice, and it took off. Like, so to be very clear with you, did not expect it to push through the point of control that easy. But it did, and that was a heck of a move. Definitely value area high, as well as a horizontal level of resistance there. That I would surely, at this point, if you did take it or looked at it, I'm probably taking profits at this point, just knowing the volatility that's in the market today. So I just wanted to point that out. That was something that you guys get when you get into these trade groups, whether it be with the Outer Gang or with Piper Academy. It helps, right? Somebody else is doing the research for you, or at least helps you validate what you're looking at. Let's go ahead and pull up Sol real quick here. Let's see, here we go. So this is another one I was looking at, and I talked about this yesterday on my show as well. And it was 121. 121, like we've been looking at this forever, even on Piper Academy, right? I remember talking about Soul, the whole Soul Train thing, right? At nauseum, but I was always talking about this key level. Why is this like the thickest line on the entire chart? Well, this is because it's like my high confidence area that is where support is. So, yes, I had a trade set up that I was looking at here potentially because liquidity is down here. This is just one of those things where we're talking about, hey, like if it comes down here, this is the expectation, right? So this is getting ahead of price action. This is what I'm always trying to do, is get ahead of price action. But I've told you, I've been very clear that I bought at 121. So understand that when I say, hey, I'm going to layer into this, like I'm going to buy here and then I'm going to buy again here. All right. But I am in with XRP right now, or not XRP, but Solana right now. And I'm hoping, that price does work its way up to at least this area again, right? So about 136 is what I'm going to be looking for here in the short term. 136 to 139, yes, it's a little bit of a range, but just looking at the price action, it is what it is, right? So don't really tie too much into this. I know it says platinum, but that's actually a fib from the macro. So understand what we're looking at there. But this is the area, I think, for Solana. If this area holds after all the FUD, understand how far down Solana has already pulled back based off of FUD. This is an area that, I think is good for accumulation. If you're looking to build your portfolio around Solana. Now, if it falls down, then, this is kind of that area where I will look. If it falls below 81, I'm not going to purchase anymore until it reestablishes these ranges. Okay. So, we'll see, but this is kind of my oh poo area, because there's just no volume down here. For us to really hang our hats on. But really 121, man, line in the sand. I do believe if we see a turn in the market, all right, if the market moves to the upside, like I think this is the opportunity. And I think you're going to see Solana continue to work its way up. And at minimum, reestablish this range up to 163. You can see how much volume is here. It wants to be here. This is called regressing to the mean. All right. We had a nice pull up. We had a lot of momentum. All right. All-time high, FUD, cool, regress to the mean. regress to the mean. Let's figure this S out, and then we'll see where we go. But this is a key area, 121. Just draw it on your charts. All right, that's what I would, in my non-financial advice, recommend for you to do.
You're not a financial advisor?
I am not. No? I don't have my beanie on today.
You got to wear the red beanie if you're going to be a financial advisor for sure. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely,
just some
man.
schmuck you found sitting on his couch that like to talk in a camera. So
hey, we'll take you. We'll take you, man. All right, guys, we're going to be setting out to looks like Brewberry TA today. So shout out to the Otter gang. Crypto Blood is not going live at 9, so we're going to head over and check out Brewberry TA. Continue this move on here, guys. Getting some TA action. But TradeFly, I appreciate you joining us today. OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man? What do they get if they smash the like today? How will Jerome Powell react to the likes smashed on this show?
So guys, thank you so much for joining. Quick reminder to hit that like button, because remember, Piper Academy, the only show where you clicking the like give you power up. This power up of today, it is Jerome Powell sharing his pants in real live television. Don't believe
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Let's do it.
His face like going like right?
Oh Lord, that's I always had those. So in the Middle East, real quick before we head out, and I know you got to go, OC, but in the Middle East, we have these opportunities to try local food when you don't really have a choice to turn it down. It's rude, right? So there's been some times that I've ate some stuff that I was not the best thing to put in my stomach. Salads washed in the river, not a good thing, right? But and then I've had to give a brief in front of like our commanding general and the Afghan commander, and my stomach was just rolling the whole time. So my heart goes out to Jerome Powell if that happens today. TradeFly, what do you got for the people on the way out, man? Let's head out of here. You're muted. It says you're muted. Yep, I don't know. I hear you talk. Hey, fam, I appreciate y'all joining me here today.
I think I got to figure it out.
There you go.
Goodness gracious, man. I don't know what's going on. Dude, like, it was white. This thing is just driving me nuts today. Anyways, thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for having me on. It is much appreciated. Again, I'm part of the fam still, so I'm not going anywhere. Just expect to keep seeing me here on the Piper Academy. I love you guys. Your family. OC, dude. Love seeing you last night. Really loved your initial background, that whole presentation, that setup, dude. Phenomenal. Do not be surprised to see me steal a little bit of that. There's a couple things there I like, man. So
Absolutely.
Much love to you. Keep doing your thing,
Absolutely.
Bro. It's good to see you getting out there. You deserve it. You're one of the nicest guys in the space. So much love to you and the whole Piper Academy family. So good seeing you guys in the chat. Love you. Have a great day.
Awesome, guys. We're going to be heading over to right now to Brewberry TA, so stay tuned. Make sure you get in there, drop those graduation caps and the honors and whatever else you need to. Let them know that we're there to support them, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, breaking down the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Trade safe, guys, and use some risk management later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a you like the visual powered by Tar Prime. Then you were part of that Lumnada source bond. All back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. Sound off. To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.